Right, we'll start with our next standard, AS11. AS11 is on what you know, accounting for changes in foreign exchange rates. Foreign exchange rates, matlab, imagine if the entity is in India, then its reporting currency would be what? Indian currency. Thereby, any currency other than Indian currency will become what, sir? Foreign currency, right now. So, relatively important standard, sir. Three things are there to understand in this standard. I'll explain you that, right? Just a minute, I'll open a new workbook. Yeah, have a look, sir. AS accounting standard 11 में we need to understand three things. See, one part is covered in branch, but still three things are there to understand. One is accounting for foreign exchange transactions. Accounting for foreign exchange transactions, that's one aspect. Second is accounting for foreign operations. And third one is forward contracts. Total three things are there to understand. This is Roman number 1, this is Roman number 2, this is Roman number 3. Puri three things are there to understand. In exam they will ask you any one thing only, right now. And for your knowledge, accounting for foreign operations, this will cover in branch accounts. This will cover where, sir? In branch accounts. Still some guidelines I will give you there, don't worry. But main aspect will be covered in what, branch accounts only, right now. So AS11 deals with the three things when it comes to student lives. One is called accounting for foreign exchange transaction. Second is called accounting for foreign operations. And third one is called nothing but what, sir? Forward contracts. Three things are taking one by one, right now. Shall we start with the first aspect? We'll start with the first aspect called what, accounting for a foreign exchange transaction. Before that, let me take some basic aspects. Basic aspects le lenge. Try to understand, sir. A currency can be of two things. One is called Indian currency. Second is called nothing but what, sir? Other than Indian currency. Other than what, sir? Indian currency. Currency which is accepted by Government of India, which is printed by Reserve Bank of India or minted by Government of India is called nothing but what, sir? Indian currency. Any currency other than Indian currency is nothing but what, sir? Foreign currency, right now. That's first thing you should understand. Dire dire I'll tell all the aspect. Point number 2. See, a transaction can also be of two types. One is called foreign transaction. Second is called nothing but domestic transaction. Second is called what, sir? Domestic transaction. No, don't confuse. I'm just into basic aspect, right? Sir, what do you mean by foreign transaction? A foreign transaction is one where the amount is either receivable or payable in a currency other than reporting currency. Confuse नहीं होना है, धीरे धीरे समझेंगे. Other than what, sir? Reporting currency. Whenever you do a transaction where the amount is receivable or the amount is payable in other than reporting currency, then those transactions are called nothing but what, sir? Foreign transactions. धीरे धीरे समझेंगे. Now new thing to understand is sir, what do you mean by reporting currency? है ना भाई, नया चीज समझना पड़ेगा. Sir, what do you mean by reporting currency? अब ध्यान से सुनो. Point number 3. For an entity in India, what will happen, Indian currency is called reporting currency. Is called what, sir? Reporting currency. And any other currency is called nothing but what, sir? Foreign currency. ध्यान से समझिए, समझ में आएगा. So try to understand, if an entity has its operations in India, then obviously it will books of accounts will be prepared in Indian currency. Thereby for such entity, any currency other than Indian rupee is called nothing but what, sir? Foreign currency. Like example, Indian currency is denominated by what, sir? Rupee. Just for example, let me say foreign currency is what, sir? Dollar. So if you do any transaction maybe in India or maybe outside India. Please try to understand any transaction within India or outside India where the amount is receivable or payable in other than which currency, other than reporting currency, then it will be called nothing but what's sir? Foreign transaction. Sun mein aa raha hai sir. Matlab understand, I am making a sale to you, but you have to pay me in dollar. No doubt, the goods never leave India. Please try to understand, the goods never leave India. I am making a sale of goods to you, but there is an agreement that you have to pay me in foreign currency. Example, this becomes an example of what's a foreign currency transaction. The transaction is in which currency? Foreign currency. Wherever the amount is receivable or where the amount is payable in other than reporting currency, gone the case, such transaction is called nothing but what, sir? Foreign currency. Am I clear, sir? So our first learning objective is nothing but to understand how to do accounting for which currency, how to do accounting for foreign currency. वही अपना first learning objective है. Second objective is nothing but what, sir? Accounting for foreign operation. Third objective is nothing but to understand forward contracts. Can we start one by one, sir? One by one I'll take, sir. Now let me start with some more learning objectives. Point number 4, sir. See, assets and liabilities are there, na? Please try to understand. Assets and liabilities, matlab those things which will come to balance sheet. Assets and liabilities can be broadly classified into two. Monetary, and second is called what, non-monetary. Monetary, non-monetary. Sir, what do you mean by monetary? Sir, धीरे धीरे सब समझाऊंगा. Monetary is what, any asset or liability which is receivable or payable. Any asset or liability which is receivable or payable in fixed amount of money. In fixed amount of what, sir? Money is called nothing but what, sir? Monetary items. Is called what, sir? Monetary items. So by this time we should have understood what is non-monetary. Anything matlab any asset or liability other than what, sir? Other than monetary. Sir, समझो, meaning समझाता हूँ, सुनो. See, if an asset or liability is receivable or payable in money, that to fixed amount of money, then it's said to be what, sir? Monetary. So यहाँ पे ध्यान से, what is a monetary item? You can simply say it refers to asset or liability. It is receivable or payable in what, sir? Money. And third one is that amount is what, sir? Fixed. If these three conditions are cumulatively met, then you can simply say that such asset and liability is called nothing but what, sir? Monetary. See, before we start our learning objectives, you have to understand this first basic page. एक बार basic page समझते हैं, no doubt. In exam, they can ask you any of these three. This is first aspect, this is second aspect, this is third aspect. But before I understand these three aspects, I need to understand these three things. First one is, what do you mean by currency? Currency is nothing but, it's a money, sir. If it is an Indian money, it's called Indian currency. If it is other than Indian money, it's called nothing but what, sir? Foreign currency, right now. Likewise, a transaction can also be of two types. One is called foreign transaction, second is called domestic transaction. When a transaction is said to be a foreign transaction, when such transaction ke liye amount is receivable or payable in what, sir? Other than reporting currency, in simple terms, foreign currency, right now. Like example, I make a sale of good to you, you have to pay me in dollars. This becomes a foreign currency transaction. Like example, I take some services from you. For that, I need to pay you in which currency? Foreign currency. Gone the case, this will become what transaction? Foreign transaction. Try to understand, for an entity in India, Indian rupee is what, sir? Reporting currency. Other than Indian rupee is called nothing but what, sir? Foreign currency. Up to here we are clear. Next one is nothing but assets and liabilities can be learning objectives. Assets and liabilities can be broadly classified into two. One is called monetary, second is called what, sir? Non-monetary. What is monetary? If an asset or liability is receivable or payable in fixed amount of money, that is called nothing but what, sir? Monetary. Please don't forget, it should be receivable or payable in fixed amount of money only. Like debtors balance, creditors balance, provision for tax. These are all nothing but monetary items, right now. Loans, say, if you have taken a foreign currency loan, Indian currency loan, let it be foreign transaction, let it be Indian transaction. Anything which is receivable, creditors, debtors, FD in a bank, bank balance, cash balance with us, these are all nothing but amounts which are receivable or payable in what, sir? Fixed amount of money. Am I clear? Now, gold is monetary or non-monetary? Think na? Gold is taken as non-monetary. Why? The value fluctuates. Upar niche hoga na value. and that by it is taken as what, sir? Non-monetary. Am I clear up to here? Now we'll start our learning objective number 1. I'm starting with it. Learning objective number 1, that is called accounting for foreign transactions. Accounting for what, sir? Foreign transactions. Transaction matlab the amount is receivable or payable in what, sir? Foreign currency. That's called a foreign transaction. Now how to do accounting for a foreign transaction? Very simple chart, I'll explain you. Have a look, sir. One is called initial recognition. Initial recognition. What is my initial recognition? You have to pass the journal entry now. Standard says as per AS 11, initial recognition of a foreign transaction. A foreign transaction should be recognized in books. Should be recognized in books at a rate of exchange. At rate of exchange on the date of transaction. I'll explain. On the date of what, sir? Transaction. Suppose if I am doing a transaction today, example sake, and today is what, sir? 24th of April, example. So if I am doing a transaction on 24th of April, then I have to find out the dollar rate on 24th of April. For that, I have to do the accounting as per rate of exchange on 24th of April, right now. So whenever you do a foreign transaction, right now, you should recognize in the books as per the rate of exchange on the rate of what, sir? On the rate of transaction. Now you may get a doubt. Sir, rate of exchange are different as per RBI, as per HDFC, as per ICICI, as per SBI. Which rate of exchange should we take? That depends on your accounting policy. You may follow accounting policy saying that rate of exchange would be as per SBI, or you can follow the rate of exchange would be average of SBI, HDFC and ICICI, or rate of exchange would be as per RBI. That's as per your logic, right now. Standard does not say which rate of exchange you should take. It simply says the rate of exchange on the rate of transactions. I'll explain this with the help of example. Okay, then what about subsequent measurement? Subsequent measurement. How we should do measurement of such transaction if it comes up to the balance sheet date, right now? इसमें split into 2 कर रहा हूँ, ध्यान से सुनो. See, if the transaction is receivable or payable up to balance sheet date. If the transaction is receivable or payable up to the balance sheet date, then what you should do, then you should restate. As per the rate of exchange. As per the rate of exchange on the balance sheet date. What do you mean by restate? Restate matlab, imagine sir, I have made a sale of good to you, say for $1. Example, मैंने आपको goods बेचे for $1. When I have done the sale, the rate of exchange was 75. Imagine the amount is still receivable by me, and up to the balance sheet date, the amount is still receivable only. And on that date, the rate of exchange has become 78. So 75 has become how much, sir? 78. This is called restatement from 75 to what, sir? 78. Am I clear? I'll just give a small note to you here. Note. When an asset is restated upward, it is called nothing but what, gain. सुनना है, बिकॉज एक एसेट बढ़ेगा तो गेन ही होगा. Whereas if an liability asset is restated downward, it is nothing but what, sir? Loss. Likewise, note number 2. If a liability is restated upward, अगर liability बढ़ जाएगी, then it is nothing but what, sir? Loss. But whereas if a liability is restated downward, then it is nothing but what, sir? Gain. समझ में आ रहा है ध्यान से? रीस्टेटमेंट में गेन भी आ सकता है, लॉस भी आ सकता है. दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट टाइप ऑफ आइटम यू आर डीलिंग विथ राइट ना. इफ द डेटर्स वैल्यू इंक्रीजेस, इट्स अ गेन, बट वेयर इज इफ द क्रेडिटर्स वैल्यू इंक्रीजेस, देन इट्स अ लॉस. So the law says what, the AS11 says, let the initial recognition be as per the rate of exchange on the transaction date. But if the transaction comes up to the balance sheet date as an outstanding amount or as a receivable amount, then it should be restated as per the rate of exchange on the balance sheet date. Okay. upon settlement of transaction, then what you will do, the gain or loss should be taken to what, sir? P&L account. Here also I forgot to tell you, sir, here also the gain or loss should be taken to what, sir? P&L account. सर एक एग्जाम्पल लेके समझेंगे तो ज़्यादा आसान में आएगा. लेट मी टेक एन एग्जाम्पल. ओके, एक एग्जाम्पल लेके समझाता हूँ. एक्स लिमिटेड का एग्जाम्पल है. ऑन 1/2/2019, एक एग्जाम्पल है सर. ऑन 1/2/2019 एक्स लिमिटेड सोल्ड गुड्स on 3 months credit. Careful with the data. Sold goods on how many months credit? 3 months credit for $20,000. For how much value? For $20,000. Okay. Next, the rate of exchange on 1/2/2019 is $75. Super. What happened? On 31st of March 2019, being the balance sheet date, $1 has become $1 has become rupees. Here also I should have rupees. Here also rupees 75. Rate of exchange of $1 on is how much, sir? Is rupees 70. कितना लूँ? 76 ले लेता हूँ. Okay. Then what happened? On 30th of April 2019, when $20,000 are received from debtors, $1 is equal to what, $1 is 77 rupees 80 paisa. Have a careful look. I have given you so many rates, I know. This is the rate of exchange on the rate of transaction. This is the rate of exchange on the balance sheet date, and this is the rate of exchange on what, sir? On the rate of settlement. आराम से सुनेंगे समझ में आएगा. There are total 3 rates of exchange. This is rate of exchange on the transaction date. This is rate of exchange on the balance sheet date. This is rate of exchange on the rate of what, sir? Settlement. Getting or not, sir? Okay. So how should we recognize this itself is a question, right now, sir? Now what is the answer for this? Have a look, sir. What is the total transaction value? $20,000, right? So point number 1, no hurry, aram se. The transaction should be recognized. The transaction should be recognized on what date? 1/2/2019. At what value? It is $20,000 into 75. Why 75? Because that is the rate of exchange on the rate of transaction. How much is the answer coming, sir? If I am not wrong, 20,000 into 75. कितना आ रहा है? Rupees 15 lakhs is the value. Getting or not, sir? This is debtors. Do you agree? Debtors account debit to sales. Okay. Point number 2. On 31st of March 2019, debtors should be restated. Why? Because in my balance sheet debtors is $20,000 only, but dollar of 75 has now become dollar of how much, sir? 76. Debtors should be restated from, sir, how much? 20,000 into 76 minus 75. डेटर का वैल्यू बढ़ गया. कितना बढ़ गया? 20,000 into डेटर्स रीस्टेटेड अपवर्ड बाई बोल के लिख रहा हूँ, ध्यान से, मतलब गेन बुक कर दे रहा हूँ. It is 20,000 into 76 minus 75 is only 1 rupee. So it is rupees 20,000 is gain for me. Getting or not, sir? So if you open balance sheet on this day, on 31st March 2019, debtors are restated. Bracket में intentionally I am writing. Restated is how much, you know? It would be $20,000 into, what is the dollar rate? 76. So it is 20,000 into 76 is how much, sir? 15,20,000. If you observe, you will understand. The transaction was recorded at what value? It was recorded at 15 lakhs value. Getting or not, sir? But on the balance sheet, it has become how much, sir? 15,20,000. When the asset value increases, it is obviously gain or loss? It's a gain. Do you agree? Okay. यहाँ तक तो सब कुछ समझ में आ रहा है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Do you agree? यहाँ तक तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. Then what happened? You know, on 30th of April 2019, that is end of 3 months. End of 3 months from the transaction will get settled ना. Settlement में क्या हुआ ध्यान से. The debtor has paid you how much, sir? 77.8. If you observe again, there is a gain on settlement. There is a gain on what, sir? Settlement. Why gain on settlement in this case? I'll tell you. See, on balance sheet the dollar is only how much? 76. But when you are receiving, the dollar has become how much, sir? 77.8. Again, how much appreciation? 1 rupee 80 paisa. Therefore, gain on settlement is how much, you know? It is $20,000. It is $20,000 into 1 rupee, how much, sir? 80 paisa. Which is equal to how much, sir? 20,000 into 1.8, which is 3.36,000 if I am not wrong, which is 36,000 is again gain. So if you observe, three things we have done, sir, in this. See, the first part is called nothing but what, you know, initial recognition. This part is all about what, sir? Initial recognition. ये part है आपका initial recognition का. Then the second part, if you observe, this is nothing but what, sir? This is restatement on the balance sheet date. Do you agree? Because it's a monetary item, we need to restate it. Am I clear? What about the third thing? The third thing is called nothing but what, sir? Settlement. Settlement तक बारी आ रही है, तो settlement तक again you got a restatement gain नहीं आ रहा, settlement gain आ रहा कितना? 36,000. Am I clear up to here, sir? Okay, one small aspect let me tell you up to here. Note. One small note I want to tell you in the previous page. Note. Foreign currency transactions, if non-monetary, foreign currency transactions if non-monetary, मतलब they are not receivable nor payable in fixed amount of money, then restatement is not required, because they are neither receivable nor payable in what, sir? Fixed amount of money. So please try to understand, restatement on balance sheet date is what, sir? Not required. So यहाँ के लिए एक small note है, यहाँ पे ब्रैकेट में नोट बोल के लिख रहा हूँ, नोट पढ़ लेना आप लोग, ठीक है ना? प्लीज टू अंडरस्टैंड, इस पॉइंट के लिए एक नोट है. सो initial recognition should be as per what, sir? Initial recognition should be as per the rate of exchange on the rate of transaction, right now. But if the same transaction continues up to the balance sheet date, then adopt the balance sheet date rate. If it goes up to settlement, then up to the settlement date. Gain or loss, anything can come. See, please try to understand. So this completes our first learning objective called nothing but what, sir? Accounting for foreign transactions. Very easy ना sir? अपना पहला एस्पेक्ट हो गया क्या what, sir? Accounting for foreign transactions. Very easy. So first learning objective we have completed, sir. This is what is we have completed. ये हो गया complete. See, this aspect we will learn in branch accounts only. Still एक आइडिया दे देता हूँ सर, ज़्यादा डीप में नहीं पढ़ा रहा, एक आइडिया दे देता हूँ, ठीक है ना? Learning objective number 2. Learning objective number 2. This is called nothing but what, sir? Foreign operations. Foreign what, sir? Foreign operations. Now what is foreign operation? Don't confuse yourself. आराम से. Foreign operation refers to what, you know? It can refer here to a holding company, or holding or subsidiary, or it can be an associate enterprise, or it can be what, you know, it can be a joint venture, or it can be what, you know, or it can be a branch where situated outside India. Situated where, sir? Outside India. So what is a foreign operation layman terms? If an Indian company has a place of business in India and is a branch in, say, Dubai, then the Dubai branch is called nothing but what, sir? Foreign operation. Up to here we are clear, sir? अब सुनने आराम से, कोई गड़बड़ नहीं है. Point number 2. Therefore, if an Indian company has a branch in Dubai, If an Indian company has a branch where, sir, Dubai, in that case, this Dubai branch is said to be what, sir? Foreign operation. Getting or not, sir? इसको हम लोग क्या बोलेंगे? Foreign operation बोलेंगे. Now try and understand. A foreign operation can be broadly of two types. One is called integral foreign operation, second is called non-integral foreign operation. ज़्यादा डीप में नहीं पढ़ा रहा, सिंपल में पढ़ा रहा हूँ. डिटेल डिस्कशन विल डू इन ब्रांच. A foreign operation may be integral or it may be what, sir? Non-integral. If a foreign operation is integral foreign operation, when we say the foreign operation is integrated, when it's a dependent foreign operation. If the branch is located on head office, or if the branch is dependent on head office, then such branch is said to be nothing but what, sir? Integrated. Integrated मतलब जुड़ा हुआ, layman version. What do you mean non-integrated foreign operation? If you observe this word, non-integrated means something which is independent. Independent foreign operations are called nothing but what, sir? Non-integrated foreign operation. See, let it be integrated, let it be not be integrated. One thing is clear. If I am there in India and my branch is situated where, sir? Outside India. Whatever assets are there, whatever liabilities are there, I need to incorporate in my books, right? Not that branch will also maintain separate set of books, but because branch is not a separate legal entity, whatever assets are there, liabilities are there, incomes are there, expenses are there, I need to record everything in my books, right? So for recording purposes, all this drama comes, right now, sir? So point number 4 लिख के बता देता हूँ आपको. Point number 4. For foreign operation, मतलब branch one जो भी है समझो. For our foreign operation, we have what, sir? Conversion rules. We have conversion rules. What do you mean by conversion? You will not understand, sir. मैं बता देता हूँ आपको. Have a look, sir. Carefully observe. Sir, what do you mean by conversion rules? Layman version. Imagine this is the trail balance of the branch. ये ब्रांच की ट्रेल बैलेंस है डॉलर्स में. एग्जाम्पल, डेबिट है, क्रेडिट है, ये है पर्टिकुलर्स. गेटिंग और नॉट, सर? सी ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. ब्रांच के कन्वर्शन रूल्स आपको धीरे धीरे समझाऊंगा. दैट आई लर्न इन ब्रांच अकाउंट्स. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग अ फील टू यू राइट ना. सी इफ यू ऑब्जर्व ट्रेल बैलेंस कैसे रहेगा, किसी का भी ट्रेल बैलेंस ऐसे रहेगा. यू विल हैव सम एसेट्स, you'll have some liabilities, you'll have some incomes, and you will have some expenses. Do you agree? This is a tally trail balance given by your branch manager. But this is in which currency? This is in foreign currency. यहाँ पे देखो highlight कर रहा हूँ. This is in which currency? Foreign currency. This trail balance we need to convert. We need to convert into which currency? Indian currency. For converting this into Indian currency, we have conversion rules. We have conversion rules given by accounting standard 11. Getting or not, sir? समझ में आ रहा है? We have conversion rules given by what, sir? Accounting standard 11. Sir, what are those conversion rules? Those conversion rules I'll discuss you one by one. ज़्यादा headache नहीं है, आराम से पढ़ेंगे, right? So in case of integral foreign operation, now don't confuse, थोड़ा lengthy हो रहा है I know, but still, if remember what is a foreign operation? A foreign operation can be nothing but what, sir? It can be holding or subsidiary, associate, joint venture, branch. You just be stick to branch because holding and subsidiary is AS21, associate is AS23, joint venture is AS27. All this we learn in CA final. So a branch पढ़ लो बस से. So if a branch is situated outside India, you can say it's nothing but what's a foreign branch. वो foreign branch तो है ही है. Not only that foreign branch can be again of two types. One is called integral foreign branch. Second is called what's a non-integral foreign branch. Now when a branch is said to be integral, when it is a dependent branch, जो branch dependent रहेगी अपने ऊपर, it's called integral. If it is an independent branch, then it's called what's a non-integral. Now why they are classifying this into two? Because conversion rules are different for integral foreign branch and non-integral foreign branch. Why conversion? Because if a foreign operation is situated outside India, it will maintain books of accounts in foreign currency. अभी यूएस में एक ब्रांच है तो कौन से करेंसी में बुक्स लिखेगा? डॉलर्स में. द ट्रेल बैलेंस यू नीड टू कन्वर्ट इनटू इंडियन करेंसी ना. फॉर दैट कन्वर्शन वी गॉट व्हाट सर? कन्वर्शन रूल्स. am I clear? Don't be in a hurry, casually पढ़ेंगे right now. Now what is integral foreign operation? Conversion rules for integral foreign operation. Better I'll write here heading properly. Conversion rules for integral foreign operation. कन्वर्शन रूल्स क्या क्या है देखेंगे, आराम से देखेंगे, कोई जल्दी नहीं. कन्वर्शन रूल्स फॉर इंटीग्रल फॉरेन ऑपरेशन, नॉट इन डायलेमा, आराम से. ऑल incomes and expense in a trail balance, you please convert them using average rate of the year. Sir, what is average rate? Average rate does not mean opening plus closing by 2, please. The most common rate in the year is called nothing but what's our average rate right now. So whatever incomes and expenses are there, whatever incomes and whatever expenses are there, this you can convert into Indian currency by taking what rates are? Average rate. Am I clear? What about assets and liabilities? है ना भाई? Because in a trail balance, what is left is assets and liabilities. Assets and liabilities are broadly classified into two categories, if you remember. One is called monetary. Second is called what, sir? Non-monetary. Now, what is monetary? If you remember, something which is receivable or payable in fixed amount of money. याद है ना? So, all monetary items, let it be assets or let it be liabilities, convert using closing rate. Closing rate matlab, if you are preparing balance sheet on 31st March 2020, then find out the rate on 31st March 2020. So convert using what rate? Closing rate. What about non-monetary items? They are again classified into two. If such items, assets and liabilities, are carried at historical cost, like example fixed asset, they are carried in the books at historical cost, right? Then use historical rate for conversion. Historical rate for conversion matlab, imagine if the asset belongs to 2000, then you should use conversion rate of 2000 only. Am I clear? Any other item, please use what rate? Use closing rate for conversion. Use closing rate for what, sir? Conversion. Now I know you may not understand fully. To understand this aspect, we'll understand what branch accounting समझेंगे तो समझ में आएगा. Otherwise, just go through casually, you'll understand. See, problem is what now. You are converting a trail balance not with a uniform rate. For assets and liabilities, so for some you are taking historical rate, for some you are taking closing rate. For income and expenses, you are taking what rate? Average rate. Will your trail balance will tally? No, it will not tally. No doubt, it was a tally trail balance before conversion. But after conversion it will not tally. Then what we should do? Note, one small note to you. Note, the gain or loss on conversion is treated as translation gain or loss and is taken to P&L account, maybe debit or maybe credit. So obviously if your trail balance do not tally, there will be some translation differences. Debit and credit total may not tally. The translation difference you can take to which account, sir? To your P&L account as a gain or loss. Just to tally the trail balance, you create a new account called translation gain or translation loss. If it's a translation gain, it will have a credit balance. If it's a translation loss, it will have what balance? Debit balance. Am I clear up to here? या तो ट्रांसलेशन गेन रहेगा, नहीं तो ट्रांसलेशन लॉस रहेगा. बट दीज आर ऑल कन्वर्शन रूल्स फॉर व्हाट ऑपरेशन? इंटीग्रल फॉरेन ऑपरेशन. These are all conversion rules for what operation? Integral foreign operation. Sir, what about non-integral foreign operation? बता देता हूँ. Next one, sir. Conversion rules for non-integral foreign operation. NIFO. Conversion rules for non-integral foreign operation. Very easy. There is nothing hard. This we can divide into two. Conversion that you are converting the trail balance. All incomes and expenses convert using average rate. Same like integral. What about all assets and liabilities. All assets and liabilities. Answer is only one. Use what rate? Use closing rate. Because why closing rate? If we dispose of the assets and liabilities right now, what will happen? Because it's an independent branch, right? So use what rate, sir? Closing rate. Now obviously one thing is again clear. If you are converting some items with average rate and some items with closing rate, your trail balance will not tally. Now what will happen? See, note. The translation difference should not be transferred to P&L account. But, very important point, but it should be taken to foreign currency translation reserve account. एक नया अकाउंट खोल दो with the name called foreign currency translation reserve, and please transfer that gain or loss to which account, sir? Foreign currency translation reserve account. And the balance in this account should be shown as a part of, what, sir? Reserves and surplus. उसको reserves and surplus में दिखा दो. Am I clear? So obviously, sir, all these points are really important when we start branch accounting. Maybe branch accounting will sooner we will start, sir. So if you observe what we were discussing AS11. AS11 में this aspect we have covered. Which aspect? This aspect we have covered right now. Now what we are discussing foreign operation. Now what is foreign operation? A foreign operation is nothing but what, sir? An head office, subsidiary, associate, joint venture or a branch. So if an office is in India and any place outside India, that subsidiary, head office, that place is called nothing but what's a foreign operation. The only drama is what, a foreign operation is broadly classified into two categories. One is called integral, second is called what's a non-integral, right? Dekha hai na? Now we have to convert the books of accounts of a foreign operation into Indian currency. Reporting currency में convert करना पड़ेगा. For that purpose, example, there is a branch manager there. He prepares, he gives you ready-made. ये सब बना के दे देता है आपको. He gives you ready-made trail balance. What you need to do, you need to convert this into Indian currency. For converting this into Indian currency, we got conversion rules. So these are the conversion rules for integral foreign operation. IFO के conversion rules हैं. And these are the conversion rules for non-integral foreign operation. Don't forget, in both the cases we will get difference right now. In the first case, if it is an integral foreign operation, the translation gain or loss can be taken towards a P&L account. But in the second case, the translation difference is taken to FCTR account. That's called nothing but foreign currency translation reserve account. Am I clear up to here? So this completes our second aspect called nothing but what, sir? Foreign operations bhi ho gaya. Now this is the third aspect which is left, sir. This we'll see now. This is called forward contracts. समझेंगे forward contracts को भी. This is very very important for exam. देखेंगे, आराम से देखेंगे forward contracts क्या होता है. Forward contracts. एक example के through I'll explain you, sir, what is a forward contract. See, don't be in a hurry. Forward contract means for a transaction which is to be supposed to happen in future, we are entering a contract right now. A contract which is to be settled in future. Which is to be settled in what, sir? Future. A contract which is to be settled in future but agreed today. But agreed today is called what, forward contract. Is called nothing but what, sir? Forward contract. See why people enter forward contract? Because future is uncertain. To protect the uncertainty which can happen in future, we enter a forward contract today. So for this what I'll do, I'll explain you an example. Forward contract is best example I'll explain you. Don't be in a hurry to learn. This is very very important. हाँ, example समझते हैं, आपको समझ में आएगा. सुनो. One example I'll take to make you understand this. Example. On 1/2/2019, X Limited has purchased a fixed asset for dollar 10 lakhs payable after 3 months. समझेंगे तो समझ में आएगा. X Limited on 1/2/2019, X Limited purchased what, sir? They have purchased a fixed asset for dollar 10 lakhs, which is payable after how many months? 3 months. Super. Right now, $1 is how much, you know? $1 is rupees 75. Right now, matlab on the rate of transaction. If they want to make the payment right now, they can pay how much, you know? They can pay 10 lakhs into 75. They can pay 750 lakhs. Or second option, they can purchase 10 lakhs dollars and make the payment after 3 months. But the problem is, if you purchase dollar right now, you are blocking your working capital. Okay. ध्यान से समझे, समझ में आएगा. Please try to understand. On X Limited expects उनका एक फील है, they are only expecting. X Limited expects that $1 would be ₹80 after 3 months. Wow, very high, right? $1 can go up to how much, sir? 80 rupees after 3 months. So if they make the payment right now, then as unnecessary we are losing 3 months of credit. Chalo, if we wait and make the payment after 3 months, then unnecessary we will be paying 5 rupees extra right now. So how to catch this? What they do, you know, simply X Limited enters into, see how they protect the risk. This is the risk, right? ये इनका risk है. Example समझेगा, समझ में आएगा. This is the risk they are feeling. How to protect the risk? X Limited enters into forward contract, or you can say 3 months forward contract on 1/2/2019 to buy $10 lakh of foreign currency on 30th of April 2019 for an agreed price of $1 is equal to rupiah 76. Read the sentence, you will get a lot of clarity. Try to understand. If you make the payment right now to the supplier of machinery, you need to pay 75 only. Right? Super. But they have given us 3 months credit, so we don't want to make the payment. Chalo, if I make the payment after 3 months, I'm expecting that $1 will become how much, sir? 80, which is really high. I'll make a loss of 5 rupees. So to protect my risk, what I do, X Limited enters into a 3 months forward contract on the same day, on 1/2/2019, that they will buy $10 lakhs in future of foreign currency on 30th April 2019 for how much price, sir? Just 76 rupees. वो लोग अभी का भी agreement enter कर लेते, that boss after 3 months will buy $10 lakh. The forward contracts you can enter in a stock exchange, right? That they will buy $10 lakhs at an agreed price of how much, sir? 76. So irrespective of what is the price in future, you can buy a dollar at what price, sir? 76. If you observe, 80 you are expecting, but you got a contract at 76 only. So you are able to protect your future loss. Whether future will be 80 or 75, that we don't know. Future can be 70 also, but we don't know. You are expecting it can go up to 80. Thereby to protect your loss, what you have done? You have hedged your risk. This is called hedging the risk. This is called hedging the risk. आपने अपना risk hedge कर लिया. You have protected your risk. How you have protected your risk? By entering a contract, which is called nothing but what, sir? 3 months forward contract to buy what, sir? To buy dollars. Why you are buying dollars? Because you need to pay to the supplier of a fixed asset after 3 months. Am I clear? Now what to do with this contract? That's not the point. Whether you made a gain or loss, that's not a point. Irrespective of what is the rate after 3 months, you'll be able to buy the dollar at what price? 76. No, try to understand. You may feel, sir, right now we can buy a dollar at 75 only now. Why you need to buy the dollar at 76? If I buy the dollar right now, I'll be blocking my working capital. पैसा block हो जाएगा ना. So just to save the working capital and to protect my risk, I'm ready to buy the dollar at what rate, sir? 76. Is it a gain or loss? I'll tell you. If you observe, what is the contract rate? I'll take the next page. What is the contract rate? The contract rate is $1 is equal to 76. That's called 3 months forward. Do you agree? Okay. What is the spot rate? Spot rate matlab right now if you purchase a dollar, How much it may cost? It may cost only 75. All this we are checking on what day? On the day you have entered the forward contract, that is on 1/2/2019. Had you purchased the dollar right now, you could have purchased for 75, but in future you are agreeing to purchase at what price? 76. Thereby there is a loss of ₹1 per dollar. 1 रुपये का लॉस है. Therefore the total loss is how much, sir? The total loss is $10 lakh into ₹1, which is equal to 10 lakh rupees. Now question is what we should do with this. I say now starts our AS. Now AS 19 says, not 19, leases हो गया ना वो तो. AS 11 says this gain or loss on forward contract which is non-speculative. Do you agree? Non-speculative, because I am not doing any speculation here. It should be spread over the period of forward contract. Over the period of what, sir? Forward contract, and should be taken to what, sir? P&L account. This is the simple law. ये एक लाइन पढ़ेंगे तो बस है. As per AS 11, the gain or loss on forward contract, which is a non-speculative contract, such a gain or loss should be spread over the period of forward contract to P&L. So in my example, what is the total loss? The total loss is rupees 10 lakhs. This you need to spread over a period of how many months? 3 months. Which 3 months? That is February, March and April. This loss you need to book over a period of 3 months. How much is the loss? 10 lakhs divided by 3 months. You have to book 3 lakhs, 3.33 rupees lakhs you have to book to the P&L account immediately. So this is the total loss that you should book for each month of P&L. So how much will you book for February? 3.33 lakhs. Next month 3.33 lakhs. Again next month 3.33 lakhs. Round off kiya, otherwise it will be 333 also. So please try to understand this example. What is a forward contract? A contract which is to be settled in future but agreed today is called nothing but what's our forward contract. ऐसा कोई contract in relation to goods, in relation to services, it can be any contract. A forward contract is nothing but a contract which is entered today but which is agreed to be settled in future is called nothing but what's our forward contract. Now my example was what, my example was on non-speculative contract. Non-speculative contract. My example was completely on non-speculative contract. Am I clear, sir? मतलब in case of non-speculative contract, the gain or loss should be spread over the contract period. Am I clear, sir? Sir, what about speculation? Next heading है contract for, sorry, I should write forward contract, right? Forward contract for speculation. See, some people they are interested to play with a dollar rate. Some people are interested to play with crude rate. They are called. See, recently crude price has become negative, right? So some people want to buy crude so that they can sell in future at very high price. Example sake. So forward contract for speculation, what will happen? Have a look, sir. Standard says, as per AS 11, accounting standard 11, when a forward contract is for speculative motive, then the gain or loss should be taken to P&L on the date of settlement. यहाँ पे clearly बोल रहा हूँ मैं, on the date of what, sir? On the date of settlement. Because up to settlement you may not be aware whether you will get gain or whether you will get loss, right now? So what we will do? This point we will learn in problems. इसको problems में सीख लेंगे हम लोग. Am I clear, sir? So this point we will understand in problems. Don't be in a hurry. Obviously standard के ऊपर problems बहुत सारे important है. So when you are entering forward contract for speculative motive, then it may result in gain or it may result in loss, because गेन आएगा लॉस आएगा आपको कब पता चलेगा? सेटलमेंट के देती पता चलेगा. सो अपॉन सेटलमेंट ऑफ अ फॉरवर्ड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, इफ यू गेट अ गेन टेक टू P&L अकाउंट क्रेडिट, इफ यू गेट अ लॉस take to P&L account debit. Am I clear? So don't worry, we'll understand this with a problem. Am I clear, sir? So this is how we started the standard, sir, if you remember. So forward contracts can be again of how many types? It can be of two types. One is called non-speculative contracts. Remember, non-speculative contracts, and second is called what, sir? Speculative contracts. धीरे धीरे सिखा दूंगा, not a big deal. In case of non-speculative contracts, the profit or loss should be spread over the contract period. But whereas in case of speculative contracts, you have to wait for the settlement date to book the gain or loss. Am I clear, sir? So this completes our accounting standard 11. However, there is one special MCA circular that we need to discuss. Am I clear, sir? एक MCA का special circular है, वो मैं आपसे discuss करता हूँ. Am I clear? So this completes our AS11, sir. One special MCA circular is there that I'll discuss. Before discussing MCA circular, come to aspect number 1, you'll understand the difficulty here. See, whenever you do a accounting for a foreign transaction, initial recognition there is no problem, right? Why initial recognition there is no problem? Because initial recognition you do at the rate of exchange on the balance sheet date, right? जिस दिन आपने balance sheet बनाया, rate of exchange on the rate of transaction. But when this transaction still lies open on the balance sheet date, what you do? You need to restate it and take the gain or loss to P&L. Now what used to happen? यहाँ तक clear है? This is the point, right? अब इसके ऊपर on this point you have to remember MCA circular. MCA circular at last is there that we have to read. With this chart you have to read MCA circular. कुछ MCA का circular है, वो MCA का circular पढ़ना पड़ेगा. What does MCA circular says? Can we move? I'll tell you the difficulty, sir. Shall I? Yeah. See, imagine you purchase a fixed asset from someone from outside India. समझेंगे? Now this is discussion on what, you know? Discussion on MCA circular. Yeah, discussion on MCA circular. सुनना है, क्या problem है? See, problem is what, you know? Imagine you are a company. You purchase 100 crores worth of fixed asset in dollars. $100 crores. 100 crores of fixed asset you have purchased from foreign. The payment for this you will make in 4 installments. So 25 crores, 25 crores, 25 crores, 25 crores. The two from next year you will make the payment. Now what will happen? You will write the entry called fixed asset account debit to creditors for fixed asset. The creditors will be recognized in foreign currency. So the transaction recording is not a problem. Fixed asset account debit to creditors for fixed asset will recognize. But the creditors for fixed assets are payable in foreign currency. Thereby you need to restate this at every balance sheet date. Imagine when you did a recording, the dollar rate was 75. By the time you came to balance sheet, the dollar rate has become how much? Let's say 76. There is 1 rupee increase in dollar rate. That 1 rupee into 100 crores means you have to book 100 crores loss to the P&L. Getting or not, sir? So as per AS11, the foreign exchange fluctuation gain or loss on the balance sheet date should be taken to what, sir? P&L. यहाँ तक clear है? But what your MCA says, this is not required. MCA ने कुछ benefit दिया है, वो benefit क्या है? Let's read it now. What is the benefit given by MCA? Let's read it. This notes I'll share with you, don't worry. Yeah, have a look at this MCA notification. I'll highlight for you, have a look. MCA notification on long-term borrowings taken in which currency? Taken in foreign currency. Very, very important for exam. MCA मतलब Ministry of Corporate Affairs, right? तो Ministry of Corporate Affairs ने कुछ notification दिया है companies के लिए. So this point will apply only for whom, sir? Companies. Am I clear? MCA notification is what, sir? Optional. What optional? If you want to follow AS11, you can follow AS11. The foreign exchange fluctuation gain or loss you can take to what, sir? P&L account. वो आप लेके जाओ. Gain आता है, loss आता है, जो भी आता है वो P&L account लेके जाओ. No, if you don't want to follow your AS11 because it brings a lot of fluctuation on your P&L also, then MCA is given an option that one can comply with MCA notification or with ICA standard, that's called AS11. But the option that once you exercise, you cannot change it in future. So those who say I want to stick with AS11, you have to stick with AS11 only lifelong. Those who say no, we want to follow MCA circular, you can stay with MCA notification also. Now let us understand what is MCA notification. Am I clear? ध्यान से सुनना है. Shall I move? Treatment of restatement gain or loss on foreign currency loan. मतलब either the asset is purchased in foreign currency where you need to pay in foreign currency, or you have taken a foreign currency loan to purchase a fixed asset. एक साइड फिक्स्ड एसेट है, एक साइड फॉरेन करेंसी लोन है. समझ में आ रहा है ना? Imagine on 1/1/2019 on your balance sheet date, that there is a date on which there is a fixed asset for rupees 100 crores, not 100 crores, it is 100 into 75, it is 7,500 crores. 7,500 crores. On the other side you have creditors for fixed asset. Example say यार, that is how much $100 crores into 75. How much sir? 7,500. सब रुपीज़ में है ऊपर, right? रुपीज़ in crores है वो. So this is your balance sheet. When you have done the transaction, on 1/1/2019. On the day, dollar rate was how much sir? 75. You have written the entry in your books called fixed asset account debit 7,500 crores to creditors for fixed asset 7,500 crores. How much creditor? $100 crores creditor है. 100 crores into 75 you need to pay. Now the problem is on 31st of March 2019. मतलब if you go forward on, अब ध्यान से सुनो, if you go forward on 31st March 2019, that's the balance sheet date again. If you prepare a balance sheet on that day, what used to happen? The foreign exchange fluctuation, gain or loss you should take to P&L account. Imagine on that day, the dollar rate has become 75 to 76. Now what you used to do? Because there is a restatement of liability upward, this loss you would have taken to what's a P&L account debit. अरे जब creditors का value बढ़ेगा, then the loss will be taken to P&L account debit ना. मतलब your P&L account will be debited with 100 crore rupees. MCA says not required, don't follow this. What you can do? The creditors you will restate how? Creditors for fixed asset. How you will restate? You will say $100 crores into 76 you will do, right? This is the rate of exchange on this day. So the value will become how much sir? It will become 7,600 crores. Do you agree? Do one thing. This loss is there na? You take to fixed asset account. Now the fixed asset value will become how much? It will become 7,500 plus foreign exchange fluctuation. How is the foreign exchange fluctuation? 100 crores. So the asset value will also become how much sir? 7,600 crores. Now if the liability increases, the asset value will increase. If the liability decreases, the asset value will decrease. Am I clear? ठीक है, I will read the notification for you. Have a look at the notification. So if the loan is taken to acquire a depreciable asset, because which type of loan you have taken we don't know na. If the loan is taken to acquire a depreciable asset, then the foreign exchange restatement gain or loss can be taken to which account? It should be taken to asset account. अभी बताया था ना. How much is the restatement loss here? If you observe carefully, 1 rupee per dollar. So 100 crores into 1 rupee मतलब 100 crores. This loss you have to take to P&L account as per AS11. But as per MCA notification, you need not take to P&L account. You can add to what sir? Asset value. So in the background the entry was what fixed asset account debit 100 crores to creditors for fixed asset 100 crores. Bracket may being foreign exchange fluctuation restatement. Transfer to what sir? Fixed asset. Am I clear? So this is what your MCA notification says. Am I clear? यहाँ पे लिखा है देखो example बोल के. A foreign currency loan is restated upward, then the asset value will be correspondingly increase. Because अगर यहाँ पे liability अगर की बढ़ रही है, liability अगर आपकी बढ़ रही है तो asset भी तो बढ़ाना पड़ेगा ना, right ना? Okay, one doubt should come. Sir, should we bring the effect before depreciation or after depreciation? MCA notification says bring the effect before depreciation. So first bring foreign exchange gain or loss, then provide depreciation. Am I clear sir that what is given? The entry is fixed asset account debit to foreign currency loan. So nowhere the impact is taken to what sir? P&L. Am I clear? Super. Abhi second jata hai. If the loan is not taken for fixed asset or it's taken for non-depreciable asset. Like example, I have taken a foreign currency loan for working capital purposes. मैंने फॉरेन करेंसी लोन लिया है 20 करोड़ का एग्जाम्पल फॉर 20 करोड़ डॉलर्स but for working capital purposes, then what will happen? Standard says in that case, what you do know that gain or loss is there na on restatement. Such gain or loss should be taken to a new account called foreign currency monetary item translation difference reserve account. I'll write it. It is foreign currency monetary item translation difference reserve account. Account का नाम है sir. This is the name of the account. You need to transfer the gain or loss on restatement to which account, sir? To foreign currency monetary item translation difference account. Ultimately, it will not go to PNL. One thing is very clear. Right now, it will not go to PNL. Slowly, it will be taken to PNL account. Dekho, the balance in this account should be amortized on a systematic period. So, I'll just write a conclusion here. Have a look, sir. So, if there is a foreign currency loan, sunna, if it is in relation to fixed asset being depreciable, if it is in relation to what, sir? Fixed asset being what, sir? Depreciable asset. Then what you can do? The gain or loss on restatement of foreign currency loan should be taken to fixed asset account before depreciation. If it is not for, if a long term loan, if it is not for depreciable assets, example, if it is not for depreciable asset, then what we should do? Then the gain or loss on restatement should be taken to which account? It should be taken to foreign currency monetary item translation difference reserve account. उस account में लेके जाना है. Am I clear? And this amount, this account should be written off TO2 PNL account over the loan period. Better. इसको loan period में slowly write off कर दो. See, one thing is very clear from MCA circular, sir. What is one thing is clear? Let the impact not go to PNL account immediately. Let the impact come to PNL account gradually. धीरे धीरे आने दो. AS11 क्या करता है? It brings the impact directly to the PNL. Let it be gain, let it be loss. But what does MCA says? Let it not come to PNL. Let it come to PNL account on gradual basis. Am I clear, sir? So this MCA circular is really important, sir. This is very important. Am I clear, sir? So total 4 aspects we have learned, sir. If you observe, total 4 aspects we have learned. First is called nothing but what, sir? I'll just clearly write here. पूरे 4 aspects सीखे, sir. How to do accounting of a foreign exchange transaction. Likewise, how to do translation or conversion of a foreign operation. Third one is nothing but what, sir? Forward contracts. उसमें भी फिर से 2 है, speculation, and second is called what, sir? Non-speculation. And for this one, we have seen MCA notification. MCA notification. इसके लिए MCA का notification देखे थे. Remember one thing, if you opt for MCA notification, then ICAI AS11 to the extent of restatement will not apply to you. The restatement fluctuation gain or loss in relation to long term loans will not apply. But MCA notification is only in relation to long term loans. Am I clear, sir? MCA circular सिर्फ long term loans के लिए apply होगा. Short duration loans के लिए, credit cards के लिए this MCA notification will not apply. But if you opt for MCA notification, this is completely what, sir? Optional. So once you opt for it, you cannot opt out. Am I clear, sir? I think the standard is really lengthy, I know it. I'll share my material with you. Please go through once. Then we'll discuss what's our problems on AS11. Am I clear, sir? Thank you.